Hey, what's up everybody? Ben here from blogwithben.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a digital product and sell it on your blog or website. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to create this digital ebook and then build an online store in WordPress so that you can facilitate the checkout and sales process directly from your site. I've seen a lot of success from this type of monetization strategy, and I have entrepreneurial students who have earned thousands of dollars a month with the same steps we're going to cover in this very video. So be sure to take notes and feel free to reach out in the comments with any questions you may have along the way. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I create in-depth, step-by-step tutorials on how to build, grow, and monetize WordPress blogs. And if you find this video helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Your support means a lot to me, and it helps me keep this channel going. So thank you for your support. Another thing I want to point out is that what you're going to learn in this video is technically how to set up your own online business. And with any legitimate business, there will be some sort of investment in the beginning. If you want to be successful, you should expect to put a little money into your business in order to see a return on that investment. So in the spirit of full transparency, here are the costs associated with creating and selling your own digital product on your blog. The first step in this process is that you need some sort of digital platform to facilitate your online store. I'm using a self-hosted WordPress.org website in this video, and I'm assuming that you already have your site set up as well, but if you don't, you can easily get started by using one of my full-length, step-by-step tutorials located on my YouTube channel. These videos are always 100% free, and they show you step-by-step how to set up a website or blog. However, if you don't have your site yet, it will only cost you $2.95 per month if you use my affiliate link located in the show notes below this video. So that's the first investment, $2.95 per month for a website if you don't have one already. The next investment is for your product. Now, this really depends on your design capabilities and how you want to create your product, but for this video tutorial, I'm using a pre-made ebook template from Graphic River. Now, these templates can run anywhere from $1 to $25, but if you want the rights to use that template and sell it as your own, then it will cost around $150 for the extended rights of the template. But think about it. If you price your ebook at $25, you only need to sell 6 ebooks to break even. Then it's all profit from there. Finally, we have E-junkie, which will serve as our digital sales funnel platform. This is the foundation for the entire sales funnel, and it only costs $5 per month, which allows you to host and sell 10 digital products. I should also add that they have a 30-day free trial with no credit card required. And they're also offering a 1-year free account for anyone who has lost income due to COVID-19. That's pretty amazing. But again, E-junkie will facilitate everything from hosting your digital products to creating your buying buttons, shopping cart, checkout process, and customer returns. It's a great all-in-one sales platform. So with that being said, when it's all said and done, you can have your digital products and online store ready to go for less than $200. That's crazy to think that you can literally create a digital business for less than $200. Now, I totally understand that we're going through a tough time right now, and $200 can seem like a lot if you're on a budget. And if that's the case, then you may want to think about not purchasing the ebook template and just try to design the ebook yourself. However, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be purchasing the extended license for the ebook template. And I feel that investing the $150 upfront can go a long way in creating a professional-looking product in a very short amount of time. So with that being said, now the fun begins. It's time to create your digital product. This is exciting because you're actually putting your hard work out there and potentially setting yourself up to have a very lucrative passive income business model. I love digital products because you don't have to worry about keeping your inventory stocked, you don't have to worry about shipping or added shipping costs, and you don't have to worry about damaged products. Everything is automated and handled online, so you basically just have to create your products and put links to them on your site. And if we fast forward real quick, you could see what that will look like. So this is our digital product, which is an ebook that is technically a PDF, but as I previously mentioned, I'm going to show you how to design this so that it looks and feels like a professionally published book. That way you can market it as a digital product and sell it on your site. Next, I want to show you the sales funnel and how you'll facilitate the actual sales process. And you have a few ways to go about this, but for this video, we're going to be creating an online store using the free WordPress theme Kale. And as you saw a little earlier in the video, I'm going to show you how to build a product listing on a WordPress site using the default blocks in the WordPress editor. Then we'll be leveraging E-junkie to create the add to cart buttons and shopping cart. And remember, E-junkie is an online platform that is specifically designed to help people sell digital products online. And we'll cover all that in a few moments. But first, let's create our ebook. So the way I created my ebooks is with the help of an ebook template. And you can find literally hundreds of ebook templates through a website called Graphic River. I use and highly recommend this if you don't want to spend hours upon hours trying to design your ebook from scratch. The ebook templates on Graphic River are professionally made and save you a ton of time because you don't have to worry about designing the layout. You can focus on creating content for your ebook and get your product out to your audience much faster. So for this video, I'm going to be using the Fitness Bold ebook template for Keynote. I'm on a Mac, so that's why I'm using Keynote, but you can also use PowerPoint if you're on a PC and convert it to a PDF. Now, the main reason I chose this template was because I'm using this tutorial in two separate videos. I'm obviously using it now, but I'm also using it in another one of my step-by-step tutorials that is in the health and fitness niche. However, you'll obviously pick a layout that matches your niche and meets your audience's needs. And when we view the example, you can see that it looks absolutely amazing and is definitely something that you could charge money for. The layout and design of the ebook looks like something you'd see from a professionally published product, and it goes far and beyond what I would be able to design. Now, one thing I want to point out is that if you're going to use this template to create a product that you're going to sell to the end user, then you'll need to purchase the extended license for a one-time fee of $150. I know that may seem like a lot, but you have to look at this as an investment. No business starts from being free. You have to put a little down in order to see a return on your investment. Plus, depending on how many ebooks you sell, you could easily make $150 back and much, much more. Like I said, I have a student who is in the food blogging niche, and his recipe ebook generates around $3,000 per month, and that's just one ebook. Plus, you can use this template for multiple ebooks and just change the content. That's ideally what people are paying for. So, if you find yourself on a budget, just use this template for multiple ebooks. Okay, so after you've purchased the ebook template and license, you'll download it from your Graphic River account to your computer, and then you can start designing. So for this example, I'm on a Mac and I'm using Keynote, but like I mentioned, if you're on a PC, just purchase the PowerPoint version and convert it to a PDF when you're done. Okay, so whenever you first open your template, you'll see that it comes with a default color, placeholder images, and dummy text. However, once you start customizing it, you can really mold it and make it your own. As you can see, I've swapped out the orange color with colors that match our website's brand, as well as using images that match the layout and design of our website as well. Okay, let's go over real quick how to edit this template so that it matches your overall brand as well as the look and feel. So let's go to a page that hasn't been updated, and then you'll notice that it's using dummy text and still has the orange color to it. But all you have to do is swap out the text. So for this example, I'll change the title to Bodyweight Exercises. And then change the orange text to the same pinkish color that we're using on our site. There we go. Next, let's add some images. So click on the placeholder image and replace it with an image from your computer. And then I'll do the same thing for the next image. Then when it comes to the content, simply swap out the dummy text with your own words. It's literally like a Word doc. Just start typing. And for the sake of time, I'm going to fast forward through me typing out this content. I don't want to make you sit through and watch me write every single page of this ebook, but hopefully you get the idea. All right, and the same thing goes for the text over the images. Just replace that with content that is relevant to your ebook and what you're teaching. Then I'm going to make a slight adjustment to the exposure of these images so that they're a little darker. This helps the white font stand out. There we go. Then for the sake of time, I'm not going to walk you through the entire process of doing these exact same steps for each page, but that's essentially what you'd be doing. Just change the orange color to match your brand, and then adding images and your own content. And once you do that, you'll have a beautiful and professional looking ebook that is ready to be sold. And as you can see with our finished ebook, all I did was swap out the images, change the content, and it looks professional and also aligns with my website's brand and overall color scheme. Looks great. So the next thing we want to do is convert this file to a PDF, because the PDF is how our audience is going to access and consume this content. Again, I'm on a Mac using Keynote, so these steps may be a little different if you're on a PC, but the idea is essentially the same. So to convert the file to a PDF, at the top of the screen, hover your mouse over File, and then Export to, and select PDF. Then before I export the presentation, I'm going to change the image quality from good to better, and then click the next button, and then name your file, and click the export button. And after a few moments, you'll have a PDF version of your ebook that is ready to be sold to your audience. And congratulations, you've successfully leveraged the ebook template and created a beautiful and professional looking PDF. And again, this is what we'll use as our digital product and is what we'll sell to our audience. So moving on, next, let's learn a little bit about E-junkie and set up the sales funnel using that platform. Okay, now that we have our digital product, it's time to set up our sales funnel and give our audience a way to purchase our product. Now you have multiple ways to set this strategy up, but for this tutorial, I'm leveraging software from E-junkie. E-junkie was created for one purpose: to help people sell digital downloads online. It's a great platform that a lot of my students have used and found success with. And like I said, one of my students who sells recipe ebooks used E-junkie and was able to generate over $3,000 per month with just one small ebook. E-junkie makes getting your product online super simple, and they also handle the entire sales process. All you have to do is provide the product, configure a few settings, and you can start selling online. Now, one thing to point out is that this is a paid service that you have to buy a monthly subscription to. However, you can get started for free and try their service for 30 days to see if it's a good fit for you and your business. I should also mention that at the time this video is being recorded, E-junkie is offering 1 year free accounts to anyone who has lost income due to COVID-19. That's pretty amazing of them. Okay, so let's get started. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to walk you through the entire sign-up process, but when you're ready to sign up, click the Get Started button to try E-junkie for 30 days with no credit card required. Alright, now before we dive in, one thing I want to let you know is that for our payment processing, we're going to be using PayPal. So if you don't have a business PayPal account, I recommend you pause the video, sign up for that free business PayPal account, and then jump back in. Like I said, it's free to get set up, but that's how we're going to be processing our payments, and it's a requirement for this video. Alright, so after you've set up your business PayPal account and your E-junkie account, this is what your dashboard will look like. Now I know it has a minimalist look and feel to it, but it is highly effective. All of your dashboard configuration settings are on the left-hand side nav, as well as a few settings in the toolbar on the upper right-hand side of the screen and the footer. Then you'll notice that E-junkie has laid out the selling process in 3 easy steps. They've also provided a quick get started video that walks you through the selling process as well. You can check that out if you want, but I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know step by step in this video. So let's start selling. Okay, the first thing we want to do is set up our payment processing. So go ahead and click on step 1, tell us where buyers will pay you. And this will bring you to your profile settings. And the first thing you want to check is your PayPal email. E-junkie's primary way of processing payment is through PayPal. So if you don't have a PayPal account, you'll need to sign up for one. And make sure the correct PayPal email is used in this field. This ensures that all payments are directed to the correct PayPal account. Next, make sure you update your display email and display name. These will be shown to all your buyers, so make sure that it's not your personal email, and make sure the display name is using your website or your business's name. Finally, there are some advanced payment options that you can check out if you'd like. However, for this video, I'm leaving this section as is. And then once everything has been updated, click the Submit button. And congratulations, you've successfully set up your payment processing. Nice job. On to step number 2, which is where we'll add our digital products. So where it says tell us what you're selling, click the add product button, and this will take you to the product settings. This is where you can set the product details, delivery details, configure the thank you message, and much more. But the first thing we're going to configure is the product details. So let's give our product a title. And remember, this is the title that your customers are going to see, so keep it professional yet descriptive. And for this tutorial, our product is going to be a low-impact workouts ebook. Next, it's time to set the price. So in the price field, enter the amount that you want to charge for your ebook. And each price point may differ depending on your audience, but I'm going to set this at $49.99. Below that is currency. I'm in America, so I'll leave it at US dollar. Then I'm also going to leave the item number blank since we're not requiring a custom item number for a product. Then we have the sales tax and VAT. And we'll look at that a little closer in a few minutes, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to check that box next to add sales tax / VAT. And if you're unsure what to do here, go ahead and skip this because we're going to cover sales tax and VAT in a few moments. Next, I'm going to leave the remaining 2 boxes as is. We want to let buyers edit the quantity of products they can buy, and we aren't requiring a shipping address because we aren't shipping physical products to an actual address. Next is the digital delivery section, and this is where you can configure the settings for how your digital download is delivered to the customer. So the first part of this is deciding on how your customer is going to access your digital product after they submit their payment. And by default, E-junkie has single file download selected for you. This means that after the customer pays, they receive a unique, expiring download link for every purchase. However, you have the option to redirect buyers to different pages on your site after payment. But for this tutorial, we're using the single file download option. Next, you have the option to have a remote product file, meaning that you have the file of your product stored on your server instead of uploading it to E-junkie. We're not worrying about that for this video, so you can skip this step. Then you could set the download attempts and time frame for those downloads. 5 attempts within 120 hours is more than enough, but you can disable the time limit and set it to 0 hours if you'd like. Next, there's an option to send codes with your product. This is used for things like license keys, phone cards, and pins, but we don't need to worry about that for this video, so go ahead and leave those boxes unchecked. Then moving on to the product thank you email. Here you can edit and configure the thank you email that's sent to your customers after they make a purchase. Anything you add here will be added to the standard message and link code E-junkie sends for digital items. However, if you check this box next to don't include default greeting and link, your message will replace E-junkie's standard message. You can also receive a copy of the email sent to the buyers if you'd like, but for this video, we're leaving the default settings in place and using the standard message. Then there's some additional advanced settings, inventory control, and thank you page configurations. However, we're not going to be using those features in this video. In regards to the thank you page, we're going to leverage E-junkie's new and improved thank you page experience, which is very well done in my opinion, and I'll be showing you how to implement that towards the end of the video. All right, we're done with our product details, so let's go ahead and click the submit button at the bottom of the screen. And then you'll be taken to another page where you'll see your product info has been successfully saved. Next, it's time to upload the digital product that you intend to sell. So simply click the Upload Product File button. And then from the pop-up, click the Choose File button and find the PDF file of your ebook that we created a few moments ago in the video. Then depending on the size of the file of your digital product, it may take a few moments for it to actually upload. But just give it a few seconds and we should be good to go. Then once the upload is complete, click the Close button. And next, we're going to upload an image of our product that will show up in the product card and shopping cart. And we'll go over what both of those are in a few moments. But under the optional product details section, go ahead and click the Upload Product Images button. Then you'll have the option to upload 5 images. And please note that your product images can only be JPEGs or PNG files with a maximum file size of 2 megabytes and should be at least 800 pixels wide and 640 pixels tall. Then to add your image, click the first square there and find the image you want to use on your computer. There we go. And I'm just going to add one image for now, but you can add multiple if you want. So let's exit out of this and click the close button. Next, we want to edit the product listing. So click the Edit Product Listing button, and this will bring you to your product card. And product cards can be used a few different ways. One is that you can link directly to this card by sharing a link with your audience. And we'll cover that in a few moments. Then the product cards are also used with the E-junkie shop. So it's important to make sure this looks professional and has the correct information. And you can see that our product image, title, and price are in place, but I want to add a description to help entice people to click through and add it to their cart. So I'll add a quick description in that description box there. Then once your product card is ready to go, click the Save Changes button. And your first product is ready to be sold. Now there are a few more adjustments we need to make to our cart, but you now have a digital product in stock that is ready to be sold to your audience. Next, you have a few options on how to promote your product. If you look under the Get Button Codes section, you'll notice there is a cart option, a Buy Now option, and a product card option. All three offer different buying experiences and ways to promote your products to your audience. But for this video, we're going to be using the cart text link option. But I recommend that you experiment with all options to see what works best for you, your business, and your customer. And just to give you a quick example of what our buying experience is going to look like, in this video, we're going to use the cart text link and add it to our call to action buttons on our sales pages. Then when someone clicks on that button, they'll be taken to our shopping cart, which looks super professional. Now don't worry about the colors and the sales tax. We're going to update that in a few moments. But using the cart text link on your sales page is an effective sales funnel that can get your customer directly to your cart in just one click. Okay, before we move on, I want to upload another digital product to sell. So in your dashboard, under the Manage Product section, click the Add Product link. And then this will take you through the same process we just went through and will allow you to add a second digital product to E-junkie. Now for the sake of time, I'm going to go a little faster during this one, but you'd want to add your product details, set the price, add sales tax if you need to, which we're still going to cover, and configure the delivery options and thank you email if you need to. Next, I'm going to upload the file of my digital product. And again, this may take a few moments depending on how large of a file it is, but in a few seconds we should be good to go. Then I'm going to upload my product image. Then if we preview our cart by clicking the Open button, you can see that both of our digital products are now displaying in the cart and are ready to be purchased. Okay, before we move on, I want to show you a quick tip. Under the Manage Seller Account section in our dashboard, click on Edit Preferences, and then under the Optional Information section, I recommend adding the URL to your website and logo if you have one. This will be displayed as a header image on your E-junkie shop, thank you pages, checkout pages, and your cart when it appears in a separate tab. This is just another way to create brand awareness and brand loyalty. Okay, now it's time to edit your cart and make it match your overall brand and color scheme of your website. So in your E-junkie dashboard, under the Manage Cart and Shop, click on Cart Preferences, and this will bring you to your cart editor. As you can see on the left, it's where you have all your editing options, and on the right is a preview of your cart and credit card page. So you can really go crazy and pretty much edit every aspect of your cart, but for this video, I'm only concerned with the color. I want it to match my website so that there is a consistent look and feel whenever my customer leaves my sales page and arrives at the shopping cart. So to edit the color on the left-hand side of the screen under the default theme section, click that drop down and you'll see all the preset color schemes options that you have for your shopping cart. You'll notice that the color scheme used changes the color within the Proceed to Pay section and the Custom Error button. Again, this doesn't seem like a huge deal, but the more consistent you can keep the experience between your online store, not only looks good, but it can potentially help increase conversions because the customer doesn't feel like they're necessarily leaving your site. Okay, so I'm actually going to use a custom color here. So if you go to the very bottom of this dropdown and click on Custom, and then click on the custom color bar there, you'll have the ability to either use the color picker or enter the hex color code if you know it. So right below the color picker, if you click on those arrows, you can toggle between how to enter your custom color. I want to enter the hex color code, so clicking it a few times will bring up that option, and then I'll type in my hex color code, and voila, my shopping cart matches the color scheme of my website. Awesome. So once you've decided on a color for your cart, click the Save Changes button, and your cart is ready to go. Moving on. Okay, now it's time to talk about sales tax. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, and none of the information I'm about to give you should be considered legal advice. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's take a closer look at sales tax. So in your E-junkie dashboard, under the Manage Shipping Tax Discounts section, click on Sales Tax VAT Settings. And this will bring you to your sales tax settings where you can calculate the sales tax and VAT to charge your customers. First, let's talk sales tax. So a sales tax is a consumption tax imposed by the government on the sale of goods and services. And the sales tax is levied at the point of sale, collected by the retailer, which is you, and is then passed on to the government, meaning you pay the sales tax that you collect from customers to the government. However, when it comes to digital products, sometimes you won't have to charge a sales tax due to where your business is located. For example, if we take a look at this helpful article by TaxJar, they've listed out sales tax by state, showing where digital products are taxable, and I'll put a link to this in the show notes. But if you scroll down and find your state, you can see what the sales tax law is when it comes to digital products. For example, I'm in California, so digital products are actually exempt, meaning I don't have to charge a sales tax on my ebooks. However, if you're based out of Connecticut, digital products are taxable, but at a reduced rate of only 1%. So, for this example, let's say I'm operating out of Connecticut, and back at our sales tax calculator, I'm going to check the box next to where it says tax buyers from state/province to initiate the sales tax, and then I'll select Connecticut from the dropdown. Then I'll set the sales tax rate to 1%. Next is the VAT, which stands for Value Added Tax, and it's basically sales tax for European buyers. So if you have European customers, you'll more than likely need to charge VAT. For example, here's an explanation by Shopify stating that digital goods are downloadable files, and consumers living in the European Union must pay a value-added tax, or the VAT, on digital goods, regardless of where the seller is located. Here's a helpful infographic provided by Quaderno, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I think it's pronounced, that walks you through some simple questions to help determine if you need to charge VAT. Bottom line, if you're selling to consumers in the European Union, then yes, you need to register for VAT and charge your EU customers VAT as well. Now, don't let this scare you away. I know this all may seem a little intimidating, but it's actually not that scary. E-junkie makes it easy to set up and track your European customers. Plus, at the end of the day, you're running a business and selling products, so you'll need to adhere to the laws if you want to make money. Again, I highly recommend reaching out to legal counsel before moving forward if you're not sure what to do or how to register for VAT. Having a legal professional walk you through the sales tax and VAT process can save you a ton of headaches and money if you make a mistake. Okay, so back at our sales tax and VAT calculator. To set the VAT, simply check the box next to EU VAT calculation, and then select where your business is located in the drop-down menu, and EU buyers will be taxed at the appropriate VAT rate for your respective country. Super simple. Okay, next there's shipping and handling and advanced sales tax calculations, but we don't need to worry about those for this tutorial. And then I'm actually going to uncheck the box for the Connecticut sales tax since I'm in California. And then click the submit button to save your changes. And your sales tax and VAT calculations are set and will be handled during the shopping cart checkout process. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but you're running a business, and I highly recommend reaching out to a lawyer if you're unsure about what to do with sales tax and VAT for your business. Okay, moving on. Next, I want to show you some new features that are available for you to try out. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, these options may be the default settings. However, when I recorded this video, these are some new features that you can implement on your account if you want. So on the upper right-hand side of the screen, if you see a Try New Features button, go ahead and click on that. And this will take you to E-Junkie's new features that you can try out, which are basically new and updated user experiences for your thank you page and the sales notification email that's sent to your customers. Both have been updated to look more modern and professional, and for this tutorial, I'm going to enable both of them. So click the green Enable button to turn these new features on. Perfect. And next, let's get our product links to add to our sales page. So head back to the admin dashboard by clicking on the Back to Admin button. And now it's time to get the product links we're going to use on our site, so that whenever a visitor clicks on it, they'll automatically add that product to their shopping cart and be taken through the checkout process. So on the side nav, under the Manage Products section, click on Get Purchase Buttons/Links. And then the first thing you need to do is select the product you're linking to. So under the Select Product section, click on that drop-down menu and select the product you want to link to. And I'm going to start with the Low Impact Workouts ebook. Next, it's time to select how you want to link to your products. So by default, you'll start out in the cart section. And this is what I recommend because it not only takes the customer through the checkout process, but they can add multiple products to their cart, which I'll show you how that's done in a few moments. Now there's also a Buy Now feature that lets you create a link or HTML button that takes the buyer directly to instant checkout for this single item. And this isn't necessarily ideal for a sales page if you have multiple products, but this could be used for social media and email campaigns. Finally, there's the product card. And if you recall, the product card is what we edited a little earlier in the video, and it's just another buying experience for your customers, but for this tutorial, we're just going to link directly to the cart. So make sure you're in the cart section. Then you'll notice that you have a few options when it comes to how you link to your product. You can use a text link or HTML button. For this tutorial, we're going to be using the HTML button code. Specifically, we're going to use the Add to Cart button code so that the user can click on a specific button to add a product to their cart. And we'll come back to this code in a few moments when we're ready to add it to our site. But first, we need a way to promote these products. So next, let's create our online store so that we can actually sell these products to our audience. Okay, now that we've created our digital products and set up the sales cart in E-junkie, it's time to implement them on your site. So the next step in this process is going to be building your online store. Now, as I previously mentioned, you have a few ways to go about this. However, from my personal experience, I've found that building the actual store from scratch, rather than using a plugin like WooCommerce, is more efficient. It puts less stress on my site, and it doesn't negatively impact my overall site speed. Yes, there are pros and cons to both methods, but from my experience, if you're only selling digital products, then I recommend that you build your store with the current blocks available in the WordPress editor and allow E-junkie to facilitate the sale and checkout process. Another reason I recommend this particular strategy for your online store is that when you install the WooCommerce plugin, there are additional plugins that you need to install in order for it to work properly. More plugins mean more stress on your site, and it also presents the opportunity for your plugins to not play nice with one another and potentially break your site. Now that's the worst case scenario, and to be honest, there's nothing wrong with the WooCommerce plugin, but again, from my personal experience, by not using a plugin to build my store, I'm still able to sell products and create a professional buying experience for my customers. So with that being said, let's build your online store. All right, real quick before we get started, let's take a look at what you're going to build. And as you can see, we're going to create a simple product listing and a grid layout within a WordPress page. The great thing about this strategy is that it doesn't matter what kind of WordPress theme you're using. You can still create this exact layout regardless of the theme you have on your site. Now for this example, I'm using the free WordPress theme called Kale. It's a very popular theme that I use in my food blog tutorials, and it's a great example of how you can utilize the current WordPress blocks to create an online store. Now, another thing I want to point out before we get started is that, as you've probably already noticed, that the products we created earlier in the video were for a fitness website. So the products and overall color scheme and design of those products and sales cart may not match this blog that we're going to use to build our store. The reason for that is because I shot the first part of this video and included it in another one of my blogging tutorials. So that's why the products and color schemes might not match up perfectly. But no worries though, the following steps are still the same regardless of what products I'm using, and you will still be able to easily follow along. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's build our store. Now I'm assuming you've already created your website or blog, but if you haven't, I highly recommend checking out one of my free step-by-step blogging tutorials on my YouTube channel. Then after you've set up your site, you can build your online store. Alright, so back at my WordPress site, the first step in this process is to add a new page. This is going to serve as our online storefront. And the quickest way to do that is at the top of the screen. Just hover your mouse over the plus new icon and select Page from the dropdown. And this will bring you to your WordPress editor. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on the specifics of the WordPress editor in this video. It's pretty straightforward, but like I said, if you want a more in-depth step-by-step tutorial when it comes to building pages, then I recommend you check out one of my full-length tutorials on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this page is going to be our online store, and the first thing I'll do is give it a title. So where it says Add Title, go ahead and enter the name of your store, and I'm simply calling this Shop. And remember, the title is what will be used in your permalink, so be mindful of that. However, you could always change the URL slug here if you'd like. Next, it's time to build the grid layout for our product listing. And to do that, you'll need to add a new column block. So go ahead and click the plus icon, and this will bring up your block menu. Then in the search field, type in the word columns, and there it is. Go ahead and click on the column block. Then you'll have a few options when it comes to how the columns are presented. For this tutorial, I'm going to use the 3-column equal split option. And this may vary depending on how many products you have, but for this tutorial, I'm building a store for 6 digital products. So I'm going to start by using the 3-column equal split option, and it's the second icon from the right there. So go ahead and click on it. And that will create your columns. You'll see that you have 3 areas ready to add blocks of content. And this is what we're going to use to add the images of our products. So let's click on the first plus icon there. And from the block pop-up menu, find the image block. You may have to search for it, but it's simply titled Image. Then I've already uploaded my product images to my media library, so I'm going to click Select Image. And then Media Library. But if you haven't uploaded your images yet, you'll click the Upload button instead. Then I'm going to select the image I want to use, and you'll obviously want to use a high quality image of your product to help increase clicks and sales. And as you can see, I've created some graphics of my ebook covers. So I'll select the image I want to use, and I highly recommend that you always update the alt text and title of your images. This helps to optimize your images for the search engines. There we go. Then go ahead and click the select button. And we have our first product image. Next, I want to add the price. So if you click on the image, you should see an additional plus icon show up. Go ahead and click on it and find the paragraph block. This will allow you to add text below the image. And it's pretty straightforward. Just type the price of your product. And then I'm going to change the font so that it's bold by highlighting the text and clicking the B icon here. Then I want to center the price so that it's aligned with the image. So in the toolbar, click on the Align icon and select Align Text Center from the dropdown. And check that out. The price is centered under our product image and looks much better in my opinion. Okay, next I'm going to follow the exact same steps for my additional products. So within the next column, click the plus icon and add the image block. Then I'll select an image from my media library by clicking the Select Image button and then select Media Library. And then find the image you want to use for your product. And for the sake of time, I'm going to skip the attachment details, but be sure to add those every time you add an image to your site. It's just best practice for SEO. And there we go. We now have our second product image. Next, let's add the price. So click on the image, and once again, we're going to add another paragraph block below this. So click the plus icon to open up the block menu and find the paragraph block. Then type out your price. I'm just setting all of these to $24.99. And we'll want to keep the font styling consistent. So let's bold the font and align it so that it's centered. There we go. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing for my next product, and I'll kind of speed through this one, but it's the exact same steps as the first two products. You'll add the image block, and there it is. Then upload or select your product image. So I'm going to select it, and then I'll head over to my media library and find the product image I want to use. And don't forget about the attachment details. Next, we'll want to add a paragraph block below this image so that we could type out our price. So click the plus icon and then find the paragraph block. There we go. And type in the price. Then adjust the font and alignment. Perfect. Next, it's time to add our cart buttons. And the thinking behind this is that I'll add a button below each product that will allow the customer to add the individual products to their cart. So first, let's set up the layout. And we'll use the same 3-column grid as we did for the product images. So click the plus icon there. And once again, find the column block. Then select the 3 columns equal split layout. And then next, it's time to add the buttons. This is what the user will click when they want to add a product to their shopping cart. So in order for them to display, we're going to add the button HTML code from E-junkie. But first, we'll need to add a custom HTML block. So click the plus icon to add a new block. And then in the search field, type custom HTML. And there it is. And then go ahead and do that for the next 2 columns. This will make it easier when we add the code. And all I'm doing is adding the custom HTML block to the next 2 columns. So now that our code blocks are ready, it's time to add the button code. So head back to E-junkie and then make sure you're at the button codes page for the correct product. You can tell which product you're working with under the select product dropdown. So make sure you have the right product selected so that it matches the product on your site. And also make sure you're in the cart section for the particular product you want the user to add to the shopping cart. This ensures that the buttons and links add the correct products to the cart after the customer clicks the button. Next, I want to change the color of the button. By default, it's this blue color, but you can change it by clicking on the color swatch and then using the color picker to select the color you want. And I'm going to change this to black, like so. Then I want to grab the Add to Cart HTML button code. So all you're going to do is copy the code under the Add to Cart section by clicking on the Copy button. And then once you copy the code, you should get a notification letting you know that it's been successfully copied. Then let's head back to the site, and within those custom HTML blocks, paste the code to the corresponding products. So for this example, I'm adding it to this particular product. Then you'll need to make a small edit to the HTML code so that the button is aligned in the center like the price. So all you're going to do is add a center opening and closing tag to the HTML code. And if you're scratching your head, no worries, it's super simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So within the custom HTML block, scroll up to the very top, and at the very beginning of the code, place your cursor there and add the opening center tag like so. Then within the same block, scroll down to the bottom or the end of the snippet of code and add the closing center tag like so. Be sure to add the / before the word center when creating the closing tag. It should look just like this. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's preview our changes to make sure the code is displaying the correct button. So go ahead and click the preview button and select desktop. And that will allow us to preview in another tab. And look at that, our product listing is using the 3-column layout, and our add to cart button code is displaying the new button. It's also centered and aligned correctly, so our center tags are working. Then if we click on the button, it will add the product to the cart and take us to the shopping cart as well. Beautiful. Now I realize that the products and colors in this example don't match with what's in my online store, but again, that's because for the sake of time, I'm using the HTML button code from a different video tutorial. However, when you create your products in E-junkie and then build your online store, the products and color schemes in your shopping cart will match with what's in your online store. Just a heads up on that and something to be mindful of. Another thing I want to point out real quick is the continue shopping button. This is a cool feature that allows the user to leave the shopping cart to continue shopping on your site. Okay, so now that we know that our buttons work, let's add the remaining ones to our other products. So depending on how many products you have, you'll need to first create each product separately in E-junkie. Then when you go to the purchase button settings screen, you can select which product you want to create a button or link for in this dropdown. Now I only have 2 products, but for the sake of time, I'm reusing the button code for multiple products. However, you won't want to do that. You'll need to create each product in E-junkie and then grab the button code for each specific product. But like I said, for the sake of time, I'm reusing these button codes just to show you the process of adding the HTML to your site. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to copy the add to cart button code here. There we go. Then let's head back to our site and follow the same steps as before by pasting the code in the custom HTML block below the product that you want to associate the button with. And don't forget to add the center opening and closing tags. This will center our button so that it's aligned correctly. There we go. And then again, for the sake of time, I'm going to just copy and paste this button code and add it to the next custom HTML block for my third product. But again, you'd want to go back to E-junkie and grab the specific HTML add to cart button code for its corresponding product within your store. I'm just reusing the code to show you what it will look like. However, when you do this, each product should have its own unique add to cart button HTML code. Okay, now that we have our first 3 products, let's preview our work again to check it out. So click the preview button and view it in a new tab. And look at that, we have our first 3 products laid out perfectly in the 3 columns with the add to cart buttons displaying correctly as well. Awesome. Okay, so back at our store, I'm going to add another 3-column block and mimic what we just did for our first 3 products. This will allow us to achieve the same look and feel for our product listing, and it will look a lot more professional. Now, I'm going to speed through these steps because they're the exact same for each product, but if you don't have this many products of your own yet, no worries. One strategy is to add affiliate products in your store in their place. For example, if you only have a few ebooks, you can list additional products that you're an affiliate for and still pull in some revenue. Plus, by having an affiliate marketing strategy on top of selling digital products, you're just opening yourself up to more revenue streams, which could potentially lead to, you guessed it, more revenue. Now, if you're not familiar with affiliate marketing, I have a free video on my YouTube channel that walks you through the process of getting started. I should also mention that I'm in the process of creating an affiliate marketing online course that takes you behind the scenes of my personal affiliate marketing strategy and shows you multiple tips and tricks and the roadmap that has helped me earn thousands of dollars per month. Now, if you're interested, I'll put a link to both of those affiliate marketing resources in the show notes below this video. All right, we have 6 products laid out, so let's preview our work real quick. And it looks pretty good, but I feel like the product rows are stacked right on top of one another. So check this out. I'm going to go back to the WordPress editor, and then in between our 2 product listings, I'm going to add a spacer block. This will give us the ability to add a little space in between the 2 column blocks. So just follow the same steps to add a new block by clicking the plus icon, and then you're going to want to search for the spacer block. There it is. And this will give you the ability to easily edit the space between your blocks. Simply drag this little blue dot and you can change the amount of pixels used to create space between these 2 rows. And about 40 pixels seems good, so let's preview it real quick just to make sure. Beautiful, much better. That little spacer block gave me some breathing room between our product rows and looks less cramped. That's one of the many things I love about this new WordPress editor. It gives you a ton of control over the design of your site. A few years ago, something like this would have taken a ton of time to accomplish. But now, with a few clicks of the mouse in that new block, you can make some major changes to the overall design of your site. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's check the sales funnel out real quick. So if we click on the Add to Cart button, it'll take us to the shopping cart and add the product to the cart as well. Awesome. Now again, I realize that the products don't match with what's in the cart, but again, that's because I was using E-junkie code from a different tutorial. You'll want to always test each Add to Cart button to make sure you have the correct HTML button code attached to the correct product in your store. All right, so let's go ahead and publish these changes and make them live. So back at WordPress, one thing I do want to point out is that your store is still a WordPress page, which means it will be searchable in the search engines and shareable on all social networks. So be sure to optimize it for SEO and social by adding a featured image. And if you have the Yoast SEO plugin installed, configure your Yoast settings for the page as well. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these steps in this video, but if you need to see how that's done, once again, head over to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel and check out one of my full-length blogging tutorials where I do deep dives on both of these particular subjects. Okay, with that being said, let's publish our store. So go ahead and click the Publish button, and then click it again. And it may take a few seconds to update, so just sit tight real quick. And boom, our store is now live. So let's check it out real quick by clicking one of the View Page links there. And it looks great. It really is amazing what you can do with the new WordPress editor and their new blocks. This type of design and layout used to take either hours to code or you'd have to use a bulky plugin. But now you can easily and quickly turn a WordPress page into an online store with a cool looking product listing. Now I also want to add that you can add additional text, images, videos, GIFs, or really whatever you want to your store. The blocks give you a ton of flexibility and you can really get creative when building your online storefront. Okay, next I want to show you how to add the store and cart to your navigation menu. This will help drive traffic to your store and create a good user experience for your customers. And let me show you what I mean. If we fast forward real quick, you can see that I've added a shop menu item that when clicked will take the user to our online store. Then I've also added a cart menu item that will take them to their cart. Again, this is a good user experience and creates a professional look and feel to your online store. Plus, it's super easy to make. And here's how you do it. Okay, so back at our site, since we're going to be adding menu items, we'll want to access our menu. Now, depending on your theme, these steps may be somewhat different, but nevertheless, you'll want to access your primary navigation menu to make these changes. Now, I'm going to be doing so through the customization menu, but you can also do this through your WordPress dashboard. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is through the customization menu. So we'll need to access it by clicking the customize link at the top of the screen. And then it may take a few seconds to open, so just sit tight real quick. Next, find the Menus tab and click on it. Then from there, I'm going to open my primary menu settings. And this will list out all the menu items in my primary nav. Then I'm going to add the shop to this menu, so click the Add Items button. And this is going to be a custom link, so open the Custom Link tab. And in the link text field, type in what you want to appear in your menu. I'm going to just type shop. Then in the URL field, add the URL of the online store that we just created. And again, this is the page that we just made. Then click the Add to Menu button. And our new menu item has been added. It's kind of hard to see in the preview because of the overlay, but if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the shop menu item is now within our primary nav. Next, let's add the cart. So in the same Custom Links tab, in the link text field, type cart. Then for the URL, you'll actually need to go back to E-junkie to grab the URL. And just a heads up, you'll need to be very careful to grab the exact URL within the code that I'm about to show you. It's unfortunate that they don't just give you this URL, but this workaround still works. So you can go to any product button cart page within E-junkie, and then within the View Cart HTML, simply copy the URL at the very beginning of the snippet of code. It will look something like this. And just a heads up, this URL will be in between two quotations. So just be sure to exclude those quotations whenever you copy the URL. And I'm on a Mac, so I'm highlighting it and clicking Command-C on my keyboard to copy it. Then back at WordPress, simply paste that URL in the URL field. And then click the Add to Menu button. And we now have our cart. So let's publish our changes and make them live. And once again, it may take a few seconds to actually publish and update, so sit tight real quick. And then let's exit out of our customization menu and test out our new primary nav. So you'll notice that the shop and cart menu items are displaying correctly in our primary nav. Then I'll add a product to the cart. And then let's say I change my mind, so I'll remove them. Then I'll go back to the online store and add a single product to the shopping cart again. Then if we exit the shopping cart and continue shopping, and then revisit the shopping cart, but this time through the primary nav, you can see that we have our one product in the shopping cart and it's behaving correctly, and the user's buying experience is what you'd expect. Awesome. Okay, moving on. The final thing I want to show you is how to add a Buy Now button to your sidebar. And let me show you what I mean. If we fast forward real quick, you could see that I've placed an image of my product with a Buy Now button and some text within the sidebar. This is different from the Add to Cart button because when the user clicks on it, they are taken directly to the checkout process instead of the cart. This technique can help improve conversions and sales and is another way to diversify your product listings. Now I realize that not all blogs will have a sidebar, and if your theme doesn't, then you can still utilize the strategy anywhere on your site that allows you to add HTML, meaning you can do this on blog pages and blog posts. It's very flexible. Okay, so for this particular WordPress theme, once again, I'm using Kale, and the page layout has a sidebar that allows me to add various widgets and content. And again, the steps to access your sidebar may be different, but this is how you do it if you're using the Kale theme. So the first thing you'll do is go to your customization menu, and then open the Widgets tab. Then from there, I'm going to access the default sidebar tab and add a new widget. And the widget we want is called Custom HTML because we'll be adding some HTML to our sidebar. There we go. Then the next thing you'll need to do is head over to the code cheat sheet. You can access this doc by visiting the link in the show notes below the video titled Code Cheat Sheet. And what I've done here is listed out the HTML foundation that you'll use to display your product in Buy Now button. However, you'll need to make some small edits to the code so that it works for you and your product. First, let me explain why the code is color-coded. So I've highlighted the 3 sections of the code that you'll need to edit. The red highlight is the image URL. The purple is the Buy Now button code. And the green is the dummy placeholder text. You'll need to edit all 3 of these sections of the code after you paste it to your sidebar. Then below that, you'll see an example of what the code will look like when you paste it to your site. So, first, let's highlight the code and copy it. And again, I'm on a Mac, so I'm pressing Command-C on my keyboard to copy the code. Then back at WordPress, simply paste the code in the custom HTML widget, and you should see the demo placeholders. Now, if you're not seeing an image, don't worry. That just means that you're watching this video after I've removed the demo image. You're going to be using your own image anyways, so don't worry if you're seeing a broken image here. And with that being said, let's update the image. So in order to do that, we need the image URL. So let's publish these changes so that we can come back to the code. So click the Publish button at the top of the screen. And like I said, we need the image URL for the image that you want to display in your sidebar. So head over to your media library, and you'll want to exit out of the customization menu, and then access your WordPress dashboard. And then from there on the side nav, go to your media library. And from there, you can either upload a new image or use an image that is already in your library. For this example, I've already added some product images, so once you've uploaded your image, go ahead and click on it to access the attachment details. Then WordPress has made it super simple to grab the URL of the image. Just click the Copy URL button under the link, and then that's the URL you're going to use in the custom HTML widget in the sidebar. So let's head back to our customization menu. So we'll exit out of the media library, and then visit the site. And then to get to the customization menu, click the Customize button at the top of the screen. And then you'll want to access your sidebar, and I'll do so by opening the Widgets tab. And then the default sidebar tab. And then access the custom HTML widget. Then within the code that we just pasted, the first thing we're going to edit is the image URL. This will allow us to replace this image with the image that you just copied the URL from in your media library. So within the code, that very first URL there, simply highlight it like so, and make sure you highlight everything in between the quotations, and then paste the URL that you just copied. And there we go. We have our new image. Next, it's time to update the Buy Now button code. So, head over to E-junkie and go to the product that you want to use, and make sure you're at the Buy Now section. Then, copy the HTML button code by clicking the Copy button. Then head back to WordPress and replace the button code on line 3. So simply highlight it like so, and paste your code from E-junkie. Now you won't notice a change here, but when we test it out in a few moments, you'll see the changes. Okay, the final thing you can edit is the text. And all you're going to do here is simply type in between those P tags and add whatever text you want. This could be a description of the product or something enticing people to click the Buy Now button. Or you could even remove the text altogether if you want. It's totally up to you, but the code is very flexible. And then the cool thing about this widget is that you can see the preview of the HTML on the right-hand side of the screen, and it looks good. I like that. So let's go ahead and publish our changes. So click the Publish button at the top of the screen. and give it a few seconds to publish. And then let's exit out of here real quick and test it out. So back at the home page of our blog, if we scroll down to the sidebar to where our product listing is, looks good. And then if we click the Buy Now button, it takes the user directly to PayPal and starts the checkout process. This is another way that can technically increase conversions because you're bypassing the shopping cart altogether and taking them directly through the checkout process, which is what we want them to do, honestly, is just convert and buy the product. So this bypasses the shopping cart, goes straight to PayPal, and they make the purchase right there. So again, it's up to you how you want to leverage E-junkie and their shopping cart or their buy now buttons, but either way, it is a fantastic product. I love it, highly recommend it, and I hope that you have a lot of success with it as well. So there you have it. You've created your very own digital products that you can sell on your website or blog, and you've set up a professional and functional online store. Congratulations. This is yet another great way to diversify your revenue and earn a passive income online. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. As always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.